Hello, welcome to JIBRIN Angle on OWELEKETV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. We have again, as usual, a barrister Austin Manta, a very senior legal practitioner, who will be discussing with me all the matters arising in the Nigerian polity. Barrister, thank you once again for joining us this day. Can you hear me, Barrister?
Thank you. It's a privilege. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. All right. I think there was a break in transmission then. All right. Let's go. We are going to be talking about this pump price that suddenly went up. Should I say suddenly, or probably we foresaw it coming? And there is this article by Ajero, the NLC president, that says don't know that he said, according to him in his quote, I don't know if we were betrayed or deceived. And part of the article, let me just read the first paragraph or the first paragraph rather. The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, excuse me, the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajero, on Friday insisted that there was an agreement with President Bola Tinubu that there would not be further fuel price increases if they accept a minimum wage of 70,000 naira for Nigerian workers. Speaking during an appearance on Arise News, Ajero said the labor leaders were told to choose between accepting 70,000 naira minimum wage with no increase in fuel price, or their demand of 250,000 naira and expect fuel price increases. Barrister, now I don't know what Ajero was talking about. Is he? I don't know. He's a Nigerian. We are all Nigerians. We know that Nigerian government has never been fair or truthful when it comes to negotiating with the labor union. They should have a history of Nigerian government always reneging in their agreement, even when it involves written commitment. They still go ahead to deny. We've had that history all over the years with between Nigerian Labour Congress and the government. For Ajero to come and begin to postulate, ask if they were deceived or betrayed. I don't know. Both of them, I think both words can be applied. That both of them are applicable in this situation. But either betrayal, whichever one the government did, both of them applies. That's just my own whatever. They were deceived. They were betrayed. The government betrayed the government. They have always betrayed the led, the people they lead. They always betrayed us. They always deceived. They've always deceived us. So it's in the bloodstream. It's in the bloodstream of the government. So it is not new. But for someone like Ajero to come and begin to talk this nonsense, honestly, it's insulting to us, because these are things we should expect from the government. When they signed this deal, then I was critical of them signing this nonsense. It was very, very, very stupid of them to have accepted this. 70,000 is nothing compared to the daily livings, or compared to the living standard in Nigeria. What is 70,000? I expected at least minimum of 120 for them to at least peg it at 120. That's minimum. In fact, what I expected was much more than that. I was on their side on the issue of 250,000 naira, which is even at that, it's still very it can't even meet up to the living standard in the country. Sort of. So, Barrister, what is your take? Now we have the petroleum prices. I think all products, petroleum products are on the increase right now. We have PMS petrol at over 1,000 naira per liter officially. I don't know. Obviously, it will affect the living, to further affect, deteriorate the living standard of Nigerians because things will go up definitely. Transportation, when it comes to this, is what it affects anything that has to do with petroleum product. Actually, has everything to do as well with the living standard because it trickles down. It's a trickle down economy. If transport system, manufacturing system, or anything, because everything deals with actually petroleum product. The entire economy, Nigeria's economy, depends on petroleum product. In fact, virtually all the economies of the world depends on petroleum products. So if petroleum products are having issues or the prices are high, or the moment the prices gets high, obviously it will affect, to trickle down to everything, virtually everything in the economy. So Nigeria, obviously, we should begin to expect any moment from now for things to start going up, prices of goods to begin to go up, and in some cases even skyrocket. Barrister, what is your thought on this?
Well, thank you very much for this issue. First of all, I remember the time that the NLC were discussing with the president on the price. I also remember something along the lines of you take this amount we are offering you, and there will be no increase in petrol prices, or we give you 250 that you are asking for, and we will go ahead and be increasing price. I remember then something like that.
Yeah.
But the amount that was suggested to them was 62,000, not 70. Thereafter, the president asked them to choose, and they went back to consult and came back. So between the time they came back and eventual agreement on 70,000, I don't know what happened, because the condition was on 62,000. But they eventually agreed on 70. And one of the failings of the current NSC leadership, or what I would say, NSC leadership, that agreement did not come with any communique that was released. Anytime you sign or reach an agreement with the government, knowing the government we face in Nigeria, it is expected that the points will be agreed upon 1, 2, 3, and put down in writing and signed, and then put up in the press so that everybody will know there will be no confusion. In this case, there was nothing like that. We just heard that they have reached agreement with the government to accept 70,000 naira. So now they are crying foul. So let them come up with the written agreement that they made with the government. Let us see. But apart from that, JIBRIN, the issues are a bit more than that. In the past, the increase of petroleum prices was based on the cost of importation and landing of petrol price by landing a liter of fuel at 1,200 naira. Now they are buying from Dangote at a particular amount of money. So the question is it Dangote that increased the price? Is it Dangote that increased the price that he's selling? Or after the NNPC have taken the products from Dangote on their own, they now increase it? We don't know what is happening, because majority of the fuel that is being consumed now is from Dangote's refinery within the country. There's no issue of landing cost involved in that Dangote's fuel. So we are yet to know why the current increase has come about. The government itself has not told us. The government has disassociated itself from the increase, putting the blame on NNPC, as if NNPC and the government are different. There is no different. NNPC takes instructions from the government. And if they increase price, how can the government come out and disassociate themselves and put the blame on NNPC? It doesn't make sense. So we do not know the reason. They have not told Nigerians the reason for the current increase. of petroleum products. But apart from that, and by the way, today the increase that they have made, already people were buying even above that long before now. You could only get less at major depots, major petroleum filling stations, NNPC filling stations. Elsewhere in the country, like Maiduguri, Kano, people were paying 1,200, 1,300 per liter. So the increase for those people is nothing to talk about. But it now affects those NNPC filling stations that were selling at 900 and something. Suddenly you jump to 1,000, they are selling there at 1,070. Translating to private filling station and independent marketers selling at 1,200. So that is officially now. That time it used to be, we can say black market, so to speak. But now officially, they are selling at 1,200. Why is the increase necessary? We didn't hear anything from government as usual. So like we have said repeatedly, issues involving the petroleum sector in the country have never been transparent. There has never been any transparency or any accountability or any honesty in dealing with issues pertaining to petroleum sector in Nigeria. And that is a continuing narrative that we are seeing now. Already the effect of the between Sabo and town have already increased to about 800 naira. So prices have started increasing in accordance with the increase of this thing. And in no time, you will see a further burden on the shoulders of Nigerian citizens who are already bent downwards on the load of the heavy load they are carrying. It is pathetic. It is a sorry sight to see what our countrymen are going through. It is something that anybody in position of leadership in this country with any sense of responsibility should look for alternative ways to govern, alternative ways to tackle the economy. But we have a government that is carefree. We have a government that does not, in fact, they are riding roughshod over the sentiments and the feelings of Nigerians. The president said whatever, no matter the protest, he's going to do it. So that is the government that we have. NLC had opportunity when this thing happened, when the country was solidly behind them, to have driven their point to the logical conclusion. They chickened out. And that gave the government more strength and more power. They saw that this thing cannot go on. The threat to them and the opposition to them and their policies is not strong enough. So it has given them the impetus to continue to do this kind of things in the country.
I remember then when they did this nonsense, when NLC behaved in such a very, very suspicious manner. I said it then. I was so furious. Excuse me. I said when you are having a dialogue or negotiating with the other party, the best time for you to get the best deal or a better deal is when the odds are against your enemy, your opponent, when the odds are in your favor. For NLC to call off the strike, even when the government was under serious and intense pressure, they were being strangulated. They were basically almost taking oxygen out of the federal government. That was when I expected them to actually discuss it, but they had to. They eventually they chickened out when the government told them, okay, call off this stuff. They will assure you we're going to settle it. And they did that. They foolishly, anyway, I won't say foolishly, they selfishly, selfishly in the sense that because because I don't believe money changed hands. The NLC we know, the only NLC that we trust since from the time of Obasanjo to date. There's no one. We don't trust anyone from the time of Obasanjo, Adams, Oshomole time to date. A sort of none, all of them. They've been hobnobbing with the government of the day. The only NLC that was very trusted was the NLC of what's his name, sir? This man that just passed away. Former NLC president, two of them or whatever. Then during the time of Kokori, during Shagarista and Kokori and whatever stuff. And the other one just died. Not just died, actually. I think about a couple of years. I can't remember. So
the days of Hassan Somono.
Not Somono. Those ones are much older. Yes.
And this other one, one of the most revered one. His name is just passing.
Yes, he's the one. I think he's the one that passed away recently. I don't know.
Yes, the NLC started failing during Babangida's time. When Pascal Bafoya became NLC president.
Yeah, Pascal. Yeah, correct.
That's when the thing went down.
Yeah, so but since then, honestly, NLC have always hobnobbed with the government of the day. They will just come out with a kind of shakara, and the next thing they cave in. Or they have never been on the side of the people. All they have done is just being selfish, and that's why all those labor union leaders, they are stupendously rich. That's not how Adam Oshomole made all the money he used to contest for governorship in Kaduna at Edo State. So these guys are a bunch of corrupt fools. That's just it, and that was why they caved that period, because they knew quite all right that the government was at that point at their beck and call, because everybody, just like you noted, Nigerians were totally, even though it was affecting us, Nigerians were totally on their side, and it made no sense for them to have called off that protest. Anyway, that is just it. Anyway, so this one that Ajero is making noise or whatever. This is amazing. That's the noise of a hypocrite. That's the noise of a betrayer. In fact, he's the one who betrayed Nigerians. He colluded with the government to betray Nigerians and his team. Actually, he and his team actually they did the betrayal and deceived Nigerians. That is just the reality. Now, this back to the issue of price, this pump price. The truth is, I don't know. This both the Dangote and the NNPC. I don't know. The law does not permit them to increase price. They are not, the increase of pump prices is not within their purview. It's not in their scope of responsibility to do. They don't have the right to do that. I don't know. There is this. Is it the Department of? Is it DPP or something like DPPR or thereabout? I've forgotten the initials.
No, there's
a regulatory body. Yes, pump price.
There's a petroleum pricing regulatory agency.
Yes, it's DPPR or thereabout, Department of Petroleum Pricing Regulatory.
No, that's the different. The DPR is Department of Petroleum Resources.
No, Barrister, no.
The one that.
Hold on. No, you are getting it wrong, Barrister. We have DPPR, Department of Petroleum Product Regulatory Authority, or something like that. I can't remember. They are the ones responsible for the price for the pricing of petroleum products.
That's the agency I'm talking about. It's Petroleum Pricing Regulatory Agency.
That's not department, not DPP.
Not department.
Oh, okay.
DPR is different.
No, I know DPR now. I know DPR. DPR.
The one of the pricing is Petroleum Pricing Regulatory Agency. PPRA.
Okay, no D. Okay.
Not department.
Okay, all right. So that is it. So I thought they are the ones that are supposed. It's their responsibility to regulate prices. Yes. So if price increase, if we have price increase, it is obviously illegal for the price increase to remain or to stay.
Well, you have to understand that the regulation of the petroleum sector before, nobody was allowed to invest or invest in the upstream sector. And NMPC was the had the sole monopoly and of pricing, bringing forward and pricing it. But with the advent of private refineries like that of Dangote, you cannot regulate my price. If I put my money 20 billion in a refinery and produce the petrol, you cannot come and fix the price for me. So they allowed Dangote to fix his own price. The last we heard was that Dangote had fixed a price of about 880 something naira per liter. What I do not know, and I still ask the question is, NMPC that went to buy from Dangote to come and sell. By the way, we have heard that the government has allowed private people, independent marketers to go and buy direct from Dangote. So I do not know whether between NMPC and Dangote, they have an arrangement that Dangote should increase the price, or whether it is NMPC's own share, the one they have bought from Dangote, that they are increasing the price. I do not know. That is why I was asking the question. If you are buying from Dangote at a particular price, why are you increasing it? Has Dangote increased his own price to you, or what?
I think, Barrister, the truth is, let me be frank with you. We all know that even Dangote themselves, there was an episode you mentioned on this platform. You mentioned that Dangote wasn't coming out clean as well, because when they raised alarm against NNPCL, I remember their public relation department wrote a letter, whatever. And they didn't come out clean. They were not transparent. They didn't say what was the problem. Even when they were accusing NNPC of price gouging or whatever, they didn't tell us.
I remember that.
So
what I said then was that NNPC came up and said, look, we have bought the product from Dangote at 880 something. Dangote naira per liter. Dangote came out and said, no, we didn't sell the product to you in naira. We sold it in dollars. It was a question of saying the dollar amount, that we can
correct,
and see the NNPC price, whether their price is correct or not.
Correct. That's my point. Dangote itself, they are corrupt. Of course, they are part of the system, and we all know Dangote. Dangote has always been a very, very cunning person. The way he operates his business is the way he always wants to be. He wants to monopolize everything. He wants to be the only one doing certain things, because and of course that made him the Africa's richest man. Or I keep telling people something, that Dangote is not deservedly. I do not consider him as the Africa's richest man deservedly. He bulldozed himself. He coerced everybody. He muzzled all his competitors out of the way. You don't do that in a free economy. Look at the US, for God's sake. US, somebody like Elon Musk, that is rated the world richest man today. He deserved it, because it's an open, the competition is open for everybody. The government is not muzzling the government policy is not squeezing any specific or whatever in somebody's favor, in other people's favor, in anybody's favor. It's an open market. Just go open field, a level playing field, go in there and do your business and do whatever you have to do. So Dangote, in the real sense, did not earn this Africa's richest man, because that is exactly what he has always been shrewd in his way of doing business. He's always been very selfish in his way. Yeah, every businessman is selfish, but at the same time, you consider you consider a level playing to be, you consider fairness in whatever you do, So what I'm trying to point out is the NNPC, the Dangote is in this too, because if Dangote is not covering. If Dangote is not involved in this, they could have come out clean. Because all these controversies here and there, the last time Dangote himself, the Aliko himself, the owner of Dangote, came out to blow alarm, that was the first time in the history of his business. He's never got into that, because he did that because they knew, because he wasn't having his way, and he had to He now had to do it himself, blow this alarm himself, or sound this alarm himself. So that is just the way this man operates. The man is shrewd. The man is cunning. The man is deceptive. The man is selfish, and that is the way his business policy is established. They play dirty behind the scene, and that is just the reality. So the blame should go both ways. Now, the issue of Dangote selling at 800 and something to others, and look, let me be frank with you. Honestly, all this whole thing, if what we are having right now, our products, all the as at today, that everything is local, everything obviously from Dangote, I am telling you, Dangote, this 100 and something naira, this increase in price is not without Dangote's involvement. I assure you that. Now my question is this to you. If you know the answer to it, if Dangote is selling at 800 and something naira per liter, what do you expect? People buy, are they not going to make profit? If Dangote sells, they sell at that is their own rate. The marketers, are they not going to make profit? Definitely, they will increase theirs from the. Do expect them? Do we expect them to sell the same 800 and something naira per liter? Is that what you're saying, Barrister?
No. What I'm saying is this: if what NNPC said was correct, and we have agreed that Dangote itself has not come clean to tell us what it is selling its petrol for. But if we take the benchmark of 883 that NNPC first announced that this is what we are buying from Dangote, at that rate, they were selling in their stations at 900, between 940 and 960. You could still make a lot of profit. Don't forget, the margins of sale per liter in petroleum industry is not very high.
Yes,
even 2 or 3 naira difference can, because
correct.
You are selling millions of liters. Yes, you are selling millions of liters. So a margin of just 2 naira or 3 naira can fetch you a lot of money. So at the rate of 883 that they said they were buying from Dangote, they were selling at 900 and something. Now, they have increased from that 900 and something to 170. I mean, 1,070. That is the issue. This is the current increase from 940 to 1,070 naira. Now, the question is, has Dangote increased its own price that now necessitated you to also correspondingly increase your own?
That is where I am faulting Dangote as well, because Dangote, we are all Nigerians.
Dangote come out and tell
us. Correct. That's the point.
We are selling our why is that
but they will not.
Why is it a difficult thing? Even in dollar, we can convert it to naira and know per liter what is being sold. Why is it a difficult thing?
That's why I told you that they are involved in this whole thing, in the price gouging as well. They are involved in the increase of these petroleum products. That's just the truth. Otherwise, what will it take? All you have to do is you come out as Dangote to say, come on, these people are selling higher than what we sold to them. This is actually the price that we sold to them. So Dangote is not exonerating itself because they are also involved in the price increase. It's an agreement. So what I suspect is these companies are NNPCL, and probably since they have opened direct access to Dangote, government has opened direct access to Dangote, they will sell according to what they bought or how they bought from Dangote. And if Dangote is not coming out to specifically tell us how much they are selling how much they sold.
Why should that be a mystery? Why should that be a mystery?
Yeah, they decided to make it a mystery. That is an evidence. You lawyers always call it circumstantial evidence. You make that statement. You refer to circumstantial evidence where you don't have a clear evidence of something or of a crime. This is what we call circumstantial evidence, for God's sake. Because if you cannot go, it doesn't take anything. All you need to do, just go release a statement, an official statement from the management that this is what we sell, this is what we have sold, or this is what we sell to the retailers. So whatever the retailers, whatever we are getting, we'll be able to decipher or judge who is lying, who is deceiving us, or who is betraying us. So that is just the reality. Dangote, this Dangote of 18, that man is just he has manipulated our government over all our successive governments over the years. He's still manipulating them. He has been monopolizing for over 2 decades now. Dangote has been the monopoly of especially importation. He's monopolized that. Now he wants to go. This issue when he came out to sound an alarm of something going on against him. We all Nigerians came out and supported him because we felt we should support our own. Because if he's the one, if he spent over $20 billion to invest in Nigeria, he did that to help our economy as well. Don't help himself, but at least help our. It's a help. But we seem not to be seeing this help. You made mention of we are no longer importing. It's a local. We are getting from the local production. Yeah. So why are we increasing price? Because there's with the issue of landing costs is no longer applicable here. We no longer have a landing cost. For God's sake, I don't know. I don't get it. For Nigerian government always has eaten their cakes and have it. We have always been at the receiving end. They will tell us something like we'll do it this way. If we're able to achieve it this way or achieve it that way, things will get better. Prices will get better, or things will be normal. But even when they struggle, they eventually get to that point. Just like we have gotten, we've been talking about local refinery, they put our refinery in shape. The moment our refineries are up in shape, up and doing, and can meet up with the local demand, pump prices will be normalized, will be down. But look at it now. Dangote, we now have local production that is capable. They have the private refinery that is capable of supplying the entire local product, supplying the entire local demand. For God's sake, what are we supposed to be getting? We're supposed to be getting something lower than instead of getting a lower price, we are getting higher pump prices. Honestly, our government have taken us for a ride for so many years, and that is why I don't know. I made a monologue yesterday. I said, look, at what point when do we think that we have gotten to our breaking point as Nigerians, as human beings and Nigerians? Because as I said, every human being has limitation. Every human being under the sun has a breaking point. No matter how perseverant, no matter how resilient, no matter how patient, no matter how strong you are as a human being, there is always one part of you as a human being that is weak, that can always cave in under certain condition. Now, that certain condition, are we saying as Nigerians that we have not gotten to that certain condition, that breaking point, where we have to now take the bull by the horn and say enough is enough? For God's sake, at what point? What do we? Is it until the government of the day puts a gun to our heads, points a gun to our heads, or even start killing us, literally, before we can understand that we have gotten to our breaking points? Anyway, that leads us to the next topic. Let's move to the next topic. I don't know, except you want to say something on this topic, Barrister. If not, let's move.
No, I was going to say that the history of Dangote's rise to becoming the richest man in Africa, the portion or prominent time that this happened was from 2000 when Obasanjo became president.
Yes.
And he suppressed all competition to favor Dangote, whether it was in cement importation and sale or production, whether it was in household items, salt and sugar and everything. He created a monopoly to favor Dangote, and that made Dangote to rise to become the richest man. In a country like Nigeria and even elsewhere, you cannot climb to that level without some unscrupulous practices. So he himself has engaged in a lot of unscrupulous practices, conspiracies to undermine opponents and competition, and a lot of other things that can be said. So he came to this position by those practices. So as of today, he has left, or he has translated from a monopoly of household items, consumables, sugar, salt, every other thing, to cement, to now petroleum products. He has now a monopoly of production and sale of petrol in the country. And he wants to make a maximum profit or take maximum advantage of that before something happens. If you recall recently, there's news that South Korean firms have entered into a memorandum of understanding to establish 4 refineries in Nigeria of 100,000 barrels per day. I don't know if you read that that news.
No.
There is a current news that South Korean firm has entered into a memorandum to establish 4 refineries in Nigeria in different locations of 100,000 barrels per day. So he is looking ahead before anything happens, before an unfavorable government comes, before unfavorable economic indices come. Let me make the best of the monopoly I have in the petroleum sector today. So he too cannot be entirely exonerated from what is happening. Perhaps that is why he has been opaque. He is not able to come up and say, this is how much I'm selling my fuel, to give room for maneuver between him and the NNPC.
That is crazy, honestly. This Dangote of a man is just I don't know. I think let's move to the next topic.